Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pash On Podcast. Let's get started with your host, Brian Pash.
Hi, this is Brian Pash, and welcome to another exciting podcast interview. And this is actual breaking news. I'm here with Ben Chodor. He's the CEO of CallRevu. Yesterday, bombshell announcement. Ben, I didn't see it coming. The fact that you acquired TotalCX, some dealers might remember them as Interactive Tel. This is an exciting time. So tell me at a very high level, what was the strategic opportunity that you saw in TotalCX?
Well, first, thank you, Brian, for having me on. It's amazing. I'm a big fan. I listen to all your podcasts, but one of the best parts about this, you just mentioned it, how we were able to keep this a secret as we were working on this for months and months and months is just incredible. It's transformational for CallRevu. When we look at our business, we have approximately 5,000 dealers, around the country that are using our technology. We help them sell more cars. We help them get better service, better intimacy with customers. TotalCX, same thing, thousands of customers, but they actually also integrated with their own phone system. We looked at it as like a couple things. One, if there's three large players in the space, it was always us and Car Wars and then them. Now, if you combine us, overnight, we became the largest player in the space. Period. We're larger than Car Wars. It is pretty exciting for us as a business. Two, what we've been finding in the marketplace from our clients is there's this transformation on the phone system side, on the call side, where they're using a lot of legacy phone systems that they've had for years. The Ciscos, the Avayas, the list goes on, and they're moving to the TotalCX, the Zooms, and the TotalCX. We have this opportunity, because it's fully integrated with what we're doing, to be able to go into the marketplace and say, you can move and we get to support you too. So the cross-sell, upsell, better service for our already existing clients is sort of game-changing in the industry. And we're always going to be, engaged and working in every other platform. Like we have a partnership with Zoom. We have a partnership with TotalCX. We're integrated with RingCentral. So clients are still using them. It's great. But clients are looking to make the change and have it all in one place. Better costing for us and them. We could give them a better deal. We get to now theoretically track every single call, because every single call can go through our system. The data we can give back to our customers is incredible. And the other thing that we get from it is we tracked last year about 83 million calls. And then if you go to this year, we're probably going to track over 100 million. But if you tie in what TotalCX has, and they're covering every call, now we're at billions of calls.
Come on. I love it.
And to tie into GA4, right? It's already there.
Yeah. I will tell you, a large dealer group that I've been asked to consult with on their CDP project, and their stores in Canada and US, they made some decision to go to RingCentral. And when I asked them, hey, do you know if they're going to support the ASC spec? And they're like, oh man, we didn't even ask them that. And the answer is they don't, right? And I was like, wow, that's a big gap. But now that I know that you connect and interface in with RingCentral, I got to let them know that, because it's super important for dealers to understand that the number one conversion channel for marketing and sales is the phone. Yes, dealers want people to show up, but they're normally showing up after a number of phone calls. And we're so focused in the past on counting leads forms, but phone calls are 7 or 10 to 1. The outcome of a marketing campaign than a lead form. So being able to tie online calls to all the marketing campaigns, and then now we've talked about this before, Ben, with identity resolution, we can start to update a profile. Hey, do my customers prefer calls or text or chats? Or do they respond to a direct mail piece? This is a beautiful time for you to have the phone system,
Yep.
the full tracking, and then, and I'm working with your team on this project, but you're doing real-time integration into CDPs. So,
Yep.
I mean, this is an awesome time for CallRevu. Let's play this out. Jack Behar, I think, was one of the founders of Interactive Tel. Gary Graves, current
Yep.
CEO. Last year, Gary gave an amazing keynote at our conference, casting a vision of tracking all customer touch points, right? Their platform was not just tracking calls, but it was tracking texting and
Yep.
chat. Is that the future? The
100%.
CallRevu platform will track all consumer touch points. Is that how you see it?
It's 100% what it is. And it also, it's interesting about it is we have a mutual client that you work with and we work with in Florida. And when I was with them about a month ago, the one key thing they said, 2024 is the year of phone and text. It is exactly as, and I want to be, well, from their point of view, we want to be able to track every single call, every interaction. We want to know the customer journey and is the customer happy? And that is the other reason we did this acquisition. We want to be able to give so much more data and then taking it all, because the customer owns the data. We should be able to give them the information so they can make better decisions. If every outbound call isn't considered spam and it gets answered, more opportunity to get them in to buy a car.
Come on.
Every inbound call doesn't go unanswered, right? And there's no broken promises and everything else that goes along with it. The customer's going to constantly come back.
Yeah. And I'm excited because this November at the Modern Retailing Conference, I've asked one of our largest shared clients to kind of tell their journey on the CDP. And one of the things that I've realized is that even the larger dealer groups, many of them have been holding off, waiting to see someone do it right. This group, it will probably be the first in the country to get it totally right. But here's one thing that people don't understand. The signals that you're going to be able to provide in real time can move customers from one audience to another. For example, hey, I'm doing a marketing campaign to buy people's cars. I'm driving into a trade tool. Okay, in real time, if they fill out a trade eval, we can move them into another audience. But same thing with phone calls. If somebody calls in the ASC spec, you're going to send the event, ASC, voice submission, sales appointment. As soon as they've booked that sales appointment, we can take them out of that marketing campaign and move them into a brand loyalty campaign or talk about the reviews. And what dealers don't understand is they never had a place or a partner that was thinking big to roll up all the customer touch points. And it was amazing how fast your team was able to integrate into the CDP to bring in this data. This is going to be, I think, the story for the second half of this year and next year is how CallRevu is feeding CDPs all customer touch points, so no customer data is being dropped. Do you see it that way?
It's 100% that way. And then the layer on top of it with our AI and the instant summaries, like our AI is getting so fast. It's basically now, especially with the interaction with TotalCX, is that now we can basically give real-time summaries, real-time alerts, not minutes when it's over and giving an alert to manager, but why it's happening, and then being able to give suggestions to the person on the call so it can do everything you said, because the salesperson or the fixed ops person is not always going to have everything sitting right here ready to say to the customer. But if it pops up on the screen to go like, hey, they said this and this, you should say this and this because this is where it's going to lead, just making the whole customer experience better.
Yeah, and when you think about it, the high turnover rate in BDCs, dealers are so, let's just say frustrated. It's normally a high turnover job. Some dealers are able to retain a few, but it's high turnover. And so contextually, someone who comes outside of automotive into that BDC role really doesn't know all the lingo, doesn't know the upsells, doesn't know the rebuttals. But now with AI and the learning And the fact that dealers can feed their policies into these AI models so that the AI models learn specifically what the dealer's protocol,
Yep.
process, and service strategies are. Man, this is why a communication platform is needed, not 8 different pieces of software. This makes sense. Now, let's talk about the phone system for a minute, because I haven't spent much time, but I know dealers have a hodgepodge
Yep.
of phone systems. If you walked into a dealer and they say, "Hey, Ben, we have 30 stores and 4 different phone systems."
Yep.
It's a mess, but I'm afraid to upgrade my phone system because I rely on the phones and there's no good time to change. So I've just been putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. What would you tell that dealer who knows they have a problem?
Yep.
What's the business urgency for them to get a fresh tech stack with complete communication tracking?
I can almost make the argument it's more important than any of the other things, because if you're going to do call tracking, and you're going to do marketing, and you're going to do other ways to drive customers in, if the fault is the system, if the fault is the IVR that's in the system that's not getting you to the right place, what's the use of doing any of this? Because
Right.
it's just, plus the lift and shift of the technology. It's, if you already own your handsets, like the phones at the desk, the switch to another provider, it's just like that. It's not quite just a snap of the fingers, but it is really like taking out one cable, putting in another cable, because nothing changes, but except the cost will be less.
Wow.
But the ability to add it in, if you already have your lines into dealership, which you do, making the move is really easy. The only time it adds an element of maybe it's going to add a week or 10 days to it and you want to plan it out is if you have a legacy system, not a modern phone system, not modern handsets. Well, then you're going to have to swap out the handsets. And swapping out handsets is as simple as unplug Ethernet cable, plug in Ethernet cable.
That's right.
And now you have your new headset. And it can be controlled. The other thing that's beautiful about the system is if you have 10 rooftops and all over, now I can manage the back end, the assignment of lines from my computer. I could be in West Palm with you and we're about to have lunch and I can make the changes instantly.
Right. Yeah, I think that, most of my life, I'm helping dealers understand their marketing, and more recently managing their first party data. I will tell you, I've been thinking about it, and getting all the signals on the website into the CDP, or the customer data platform. That's important. But the phone is so important, because now with AI, calls can be analyzed, the intent, the tone, the need can all be funneled into best next step actions. As you mentioned, customer service, suggestions, upsells, cross-sells. I mean, it's a huge win for dealers who really see how important this phone touch point is. And, there are, sadly, many of these customer data platforms that just forgot the phone. They are ingesting the CRM, they're ingesting the DMS. Maybe they're putting a tag or a pixel on the dealer's website, and they're like, yeah, the phones, we're not really sure how to handle it. And I just want to encourage all the technology providers that serve dealers and the dealers who are listening in. I mean, Ben and I have been working on a real-time API integration with enterprise class CDP, and it's working like a charm. So the days of thinking that we can't connect those critical touch points are over. We now have a tool that allows us to do that. Let's talk about the organization. You have a great legacy with Jack and Gary Graves, great leaders, great communicators. But what I see has always been their limitation is they're super humble and, kind of felt like they were bootstrapping and they could have gone bigger. I love the fact, because their tech was always ahead of things. That was the crazy thing. I really see the synergy, the energy. You have capital behind you. You have momentum behind you. This is definitely synergistic. What's your thoughts looking into next year? What's your goals? What are you telling these combined teams that you want them to shoot for next year?
Well, there's a couple of things. One is this acquisition was 100% a growth acquisition, not a synergistic. We didn't say we get to take out one of our competitors, bring them in, fire 50% of the team, and then, my God, we're going to just make that much more money. This was about 1 + 1 is going to equal 5. What
Come
do we
on.
do? We're
Yeah,
growing. Like, look, you mentioned it. If you sit with Jack or Gary pre this, they like to be, well, they're humble, where there's ego, but they like to say, yeah, we're just a bootstrap company and this is what we're doing. We're growing. Oh my God, at an amazing rate. We're, private equity owned organization that has been growing over the last several years. We continue to grow. We're one of the players that dominate in this space. We
yep,
have resources. Now it's about how much more fuel can we put on the fire with the two combined. Gary and Jack aren't going anywhere. Jack's going to keep on focusing on strategy and
right,
going out there and selling. Gary's going to focus on innovation. How do we make our products even better? And how do
right.
we get them into more hands? So now I have their brain trust in the organization and the rest of the organization working together. I mean, our organization almost grew by about 70%, right? People wise.
Yep,
And so when you think about it, we're almost twice the size of the company we were before, human wise.
yep,
Revenue wise, we grew significantly, another 30% on our revenue, 35% on our revenue. So we're growing there. It
yep.
is just a really exciting time of what are we going to innovate? This year, it's about how do we execute, make sure every single client is taken care of, coming out with the best of breed of the both products,
Yep.
and making sure no feature set is lost. And if anything is an enhancement, we're never going to migrate a client. We're going to upgrade people to something
Come on.
more amazing, cross-sell and upsell phone system. But as we come into 25, new products, more features, more ways to engage, to guarantee from any call out, any call in, your end user to customer is going to have the best experience. And we have one goal, one vision. And because this is a process and it took us several months to close this deal and a lot of time, I feel lucky. Feel like I've been in the trenches, in a bunker with Gary, Jack, and their team and our tech team, and we're actually 3 months ahead of where we should be.
Come on. Yep.
Normally when you do an acquisition, everything's behind the doors. You don't really integrate the teams, and then day one happens, and then now we start. I feel like we've been working as one team over the last 30 to 90 days to get to this point, and
Right.
it's just going to be, we're going to have bumps in the road. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to handle it, but we're never going to lose focus that we are client obsessed.
Right. Well, Ben, one thing that I'm excited for, you're coming to Austin to DMSC,
Cannot wait.
and we are going to be talking a lot about first-party data management, data hygiene, unifying customer data to have better activation. And people don't talk about it too much, but even suppression of marketing. The phone is so important as a signal. And I really want to challenge the dealer groups and dealers who are leaning in on a CDP partner. You need to be talking to them about how they plan to bring in your telephony. I've already told you that we have a successful demonstration of real-time phone integration with CallRevu and a large shared client in a world-class CDP. The other CDPs are all embracing this concept that I've been pushing. Let's get this phone data in. So if you're thinking about a CDP, come on down to DMSC. Why? We're going to be talking about the top tech. We're going to talk about how to plan. What are the value engineering benefits of a CDP? And then you're going to have Ben and his team down there to talk to you about how they integrate with their open API. And if you are working with a platform that is using APIs, and most CDPs, are built that way, man, it couldn't be an easier integration, and that will all be at DMSC. Jack Behar, I'm so happy for Gary Graves, man. I'm super happy. You've been at all our conferences. You've been leaning in. You've been pushing this industry. One of the first to support the ASC specification. So I want to thank Jack and Gary for their, well, leadership. And I couldn't be happier for this team. Ben, as we wrap up our conversation today, what's one thing you want to leave to dealers? They hear the news. They've heard now that this is going to be a real amazing growth story with innovation. What's one thing that hasn't been said that might encourage dealers to reach out to you during this really exciting time to get a demo of what the combined product strategy is going to look like?
I think it's two things. One is for any dealer that's either using our technology or the legacy TotalCX, nothing's going to change for you. That is my promise. I'm looking everyone in the eyes. I promise you, nothing is going to change for you. It's only going to get better. And for anyone who hasn't worked with this, have the conversation, see a demo, see how we integrate it all together. It's worth just getting the education. Hopefully we'll turn you into a customer, but if we don't, hopefully after the demo, you'll walk away just that much smarter.
Love it. Love it. Well, Ben, thanks for your time. I know it's a busy day. I know you have automotive news, live stream coming up today. This is super exciting news, but I want to encourage dealers, if you haven't purchased your ticket to DMSC, it's the Davos of automotive technology and innovation. This is where leaders like Ben and others come to share their vision, their passion, their technology, and help dealers solve problems. Remember, the headwinds that the auto industry is facing today will not be solved with solutions that are 4 and 6 years old. They're going to be solved with new tools, new technology that are working together for the first time to create an elevated customer experience, to maximize the lifetime value and loyalty of your customers, and to give you a competitive edge. That's what DMSC is focused on this year. Digitalmarketingstrategies.org. Ben, thanks for your time. Thanks for being a supporter of dealer education. And we look forward to hosting your team and all the dealers who are watching in today down in Austin, June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Ben, have a great day. Congratulate your team. And please pass my congratulations to the whole TotalCX team.